Hey HEXO traders and investors, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back in the Pursuit of Wealth. Today's Tuesday, February 1st. It's the beginning of a new month, and I hope you are doing awesome out there today. And we'll take a look at the HEXO chart here. Just going to do a quick video. I know a lot of people are starting to get pretty excited, but I just want to remind everybody that we have yet to change daily trends, and we're going to look at some technical analysis, my thoughts and opinions on the chart, and what could be behind this move. So before we jump in, make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel, take the bell, you'll be notified on any future updates. Just before we jump into some technical analysis, I do want to bring up this HEXO update from the NASDAQ listing. So they did receive a warning. A lot of people were saying they were going to get delisted fairly soon, but this article clearly states that they have 180 days. They received the warning on Monday, yesterday, on the 31st of January, and they have 180 days to regain compliance. So essentially, if they get back over $1 and they maintain $1 for 10 consecutive trading days, that will reset and they'll be fine. They'll be back in compliance with that, with those requirements. And then they have until July 25th, essentially. So, and they may even get another 180 days, it says, extended. So if that were the case, that's about a whole year before they would get delisted from the NASDAQ. I really don't think it's going to happen. But I wanted to bring up an article here from MJ Biz Daily. So they say here that they just talk about the two cannabis producers, HEXO and Sundial. And I want to highlight, if you're worried about HEXO being delisted, need not worry, because it's Sundial that needs to worry. Sundial received a letter in August 2021, according to the stock exchange list of non-compliant issuers. The company previously disclosed that it has until February 7th to regain compliance with the minimum bid requirement. And if we take a look here, February 7th is less than 10 trading days. So they're essentially guaranteed to be delisted unless they do a reverse split. Also, one last thing, HEXO could do a reverse split. We know that they decreased it from an 8-to-1 over a year ago to 4-to-1 because the stock price had rocketed. So now if they were to do even another 4-to-1 reverse split, I don't think it would be the end of the world. But again, they have 6 months, maybe even a full year if the NASDAQ approves it to get compliant again. So taking a look at the HEXO chart here on the 1 hour, I made a post out earlier today in the private chat room for Power Group members saying that don't be surprised if we start to see hard and fast moves to the upside. This usually happens when everybody and their dog turns bearish. We usually see these hard and fast moves out of nowhere. Case in point, HEXO receives the notification from the NASDAQ about delisting, and then it shoots up 35% off of the lows. So if we look here at the USD chart, on the NASDAQ, you can see we're up about 35% off of that lows. And a lot of people are sitting here dumbfounded, wondering what in the hell's going on, when in reality, we just ran out of sellers. And we're starting to see a shift from value into risk on. So growth names are starting to see some. We had a algo alert go off on Air Canada as well, a POW algo alert. So we're starting to see risk on appetite increase. And this is just what happens when things are beaten down. They usually run it, and then retail's sitting on the sidelines, right? When 98% of the retail investors are sitting on the sidelines, they're saying, okay, this is just another pump and dump. I'll wait for a dip. They're waiting for an entry point, and they usually start to run it, and we start to see these huge fast moves up to the upside, and then we see extreme RSI levels. So if we take a look at the hour chart here, the hourly chart, you can see here we have no hourly high or low all the way down here until 47, which was essentially that double bottom there, and they just ran it, right? So from 47, how many people were saying, okay, I'll add on the next hourly high or low, and it just never came, right? I've done videos like this in the past, and this is what we see when everybody and their dog is bearish. They run it and they create as much FOMO as they can. They try to get people to FOMO in, and I guarantee you there's some people that are going to start FOMOing in here while the RSI on the hourly is getting extremely overbought, and then we're going to see the pullback. It's probably going to pull back to 57 or around 55 cents USD, and then people are going to start to get freaked out again, and they might end up selling the temporary bottom. So they try to get you to buy the top and FOMO in. Just don't give into it. But I do want to say that we need to keep our emotions in check. Zooming out to the daily time frame here, you can see here that we have yet to change the daily trend. This move's all coming off the low, and we have no high of the bounce. This is going to be the high of the bounce. And one thing I want to point out is we closed over EMA 12. And that was the first time we had closed over EMA 12, that yellow line, since the run up to $1.88 on the last weekly bounce. So the weekly bounce is underway on a lot of names. Some names, CGC, one of the lead bulls in Canada, already confirming a daily uptrend. CWeb confirming a daily uptrend. I did a post to private members as well saying CWeb was looking good for an entry. And we saw a huge bounce off of a triple bottom on OGI at $1.30 as well. And it was up about 30-some%. So we're seeing some convincing daily uptrends confirm. We're now outside of the oversold territory on the daily RSI. So bulls are starting to head toward that overbought territory, but still a long ways to go. And in my opinion, what bulls want to see is as big of a bounce as possible to join the rest of the pack set a higher low compared to the low of 46 cents USD, and then break to a higher high, change that daily trend. Then we zoom out to the weekly and we look for a weekly uptrend to confirm. The weekly bounce is starting, breaking the high of last week's candle of 53 cents. And we're going to be watching EMA 12, which we have yet to get back over on the weekly time frame since we lost it back on the earnings and run up to 755 there. That last local high on the weekly time frame. We did, like I said, we did have that weekly bounce here at 188, ended up being a bull trap and then faded to lower lows. And the whole sector was still bearish, but now we're starting to see some momentum in the sector. We know that there's some hearings today in about 8 minutes with the banking sector, safe banking. We know that Chuck Schumer has been posting a lot lately saying that he's working on a bill to end federal prohibition. And we could see a multitude of other catalysts just with the HEXO chart. We know that there's a CPG partner already in production. We could see that news some point soon. We have a tentative date of March Q2 earnings with fully consolidated Zenabis, Redecan 48 North earnings on that report, and that's going to be tentative for March 17th, but we will want to see official confirmation from HEXO. But their analysts are expecting about 60 million. I think we're going to beat that. I think we're going to come in around 65 to 70 million for the quarter. And if you're wondering why Redecan numbers were down last quarter, they went through the synergies and cost cutting, and they were changing things up a lot. They even changed the pre-rolls, the readies, from 0.35 grams to 0.4 grams, and they added a bunch of new strains. So that obviously, hurt the supply a little bit, the supply chain, and we should see that improve over the next couple of quarters, in my opinion. But just taking a look here at the daily time frame, one thing I want to highlight as well is we're now testing EMA 26 resistance at 64.5 cents, and we have yet to close. Actually, we closed one candle over EMA 26 on the daily time frame since the run up back at 755. So we have yet to close a daily candle above EMA 26, that white line, since the run up and that potential cup and handle that we were looking at back at 755. But that is now going on. We're at about 249 days, 171 trading days that we have yet to close a daily candle over EMA 26. So if you're really wondering what is it going to take to see some momentum shift in HEXO, I want to see a daily candle close over EMA 26 and then a convincing daily uptrend confirm. We don't want to just close above it and then get knocked right back down, right? So if you're looking at a potential entry, you could have entered with a stop below 46. You're looking at that double bottom there, essentially, and you could have set your stop below, very low risk. So that is going to be, it's going to be interesting to see how we go over the next few days, and we're going to be watching for first and foremost is a daily uptrend to confirm. I'll probably do another video a little later here today, but I wanted to get a quick update out for you folks. I know a lot of people are getting excited, and if you're wondering why we're up, I think it's because of superficial loss rule and the wash rule in the U.S., which basically states that you can't buy the same stock back if you're selling on the December 29th cutoff. You can't buy the same stock back for 30 days. So now we're starting to see the momentum sentiment shift. We're starting to see U.S. progress with regards to safe banking and federal prohibition. And I don't think that's a coincidence that we're seeing that all around the same time, that it's now after 30 days, so those people can buy those same stocks back. Also in Canada, Canadians get an extra $6,000 in their TFSA for contribution room. And who wouldn't want to load up in a long-term tax-free TFSA account on MJ at these levels? Personally, my dad is up big on his OGI investment. I was just showing him here today, but essentially we had a perfect triple bottom there at $1.30, and he entered pretty much right at that low, and now up about 25%, going on 30%. So, he put in $20,000 into MJ stocks. He picked five. I helped him pick 5 Canadian LPs, a mix of those, and an ETF in Canada, and then a mix of 5 MSOs with an ETF, the MSOS in the United States. And he has realistic expectations. He knew that he probably wasn't going to time the bottom, that it could drop another 5, 10, maybe even 20%. But realistically, how much lower are we going to go when a lot of names are down, 80 to 90%? If we just take a look at CGC on the monthly time frame, when have you ever seen MJ go on a 12-month consecutively, 12 months in a row, red candles in a row and bearish candles without a lower high? I guess we had a little bit of a lower high here at 1596, but essentially 12 months in a row, bearish candles. It's likely going to change at some point. And here we are. If we break the high of 964 from the previous month in January, we're going to start that monthly bounce, and we have a lack of resistance all the way up to 1596. So eventually the tables turn. Again, my dad had realistic expectations. He knows that he's not a wizard. He's probably going to see, not time the bottom. When you're investing, it's different than day trading, right? If you're day trading, you're setting support and resistance levels. You have a stop loss, and you don't want to see it go much below your entry, or not that much anyways, or you'll get stopped out, right? So it's different. If you're buying and you're investing, and for the long term, as long as you have realistic expectations that you're not going to time the bottom, it's likely going to drop a bit more. But as long as you're buying near the bottom, that is the most important factor. And my father is holding long term. He's holding until US legalization. And look what happened in Canada and the run up to US or to Canadian legalization before there was even any products on the market. The US already has products on the market and is going to be way, way more hype and euphoria and move to the upside, in my opinion, once they legalize. $20,000, all you would need to see is about a 12 or 13x to turn that into a $250,000. You see a 25x, you're looking at $500,000. And if you look at a 50x, you're looking at about $1 million off a $20,000 investment. So my father invested $20,000. It's money that he has, he's willing to lose, and you never lose until you sell. And he'll be holding that long term. It's money that, like I said, he's prepared to watch go to zero if need be. It's never investing more than you're willing to lose. And just taking a look at what CGC did from 2015, or if we just go here, even in we'll just go up to 2017. We hit a low of $5 all the way up to 59. That was 10 or 11x. If you go back here into 2015, into about 3 years, that's a run up of 61x. So if you don't think 50x or 25x or 12x is possible, well, the CGC did it from 2015 to the beginning part of, or to the latter part of 2018. So in about 3 years, we went up about 60x. And if you just take a look at some of our other names, it's absolutely doable. So like I said, if we just take a look at HEXO, for example, that's his biggest holding as well. If we just take a look at HEXO from the low here at 46, or we'll do close to that, that's about a 70x from here. And all we're talking about is a 10 to 20x to turn 20K into $500,000 or $250,000. Imagine what would happen if we just went back to all-time highs. Going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Powell Group. Make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel on your way out, and we'll see you in the next video.